guys? Come on into the kitchen with me. Let's get started. Episode 3. Trying to get my dual stuff up. So come on in, come on in. Grab your waters. Hi, Stephanie. I miss you, girl. Grab your water, guys. See Stephanie there. Let me see where we are. Okay, there it is. All right. Okay. We'll give folks a few minutes to join. Hey, Steph. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Today, I have my head covered because we're going to be doing a recipe. We're going to demo a recipe. And so I just want to make sure that my head is covered. I already washed my hands, so we're good to go there. But I'm just doing a final glance, make sure I have everything. Today's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little bit more technical, sort of, because we're going to be talking about hacks and tips and tricks that you can do with your baking items. So, yeah, okay. I think I have everything. Hi, Sissy. My sister in Florida is watching. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Nana. Hi, Amma. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. There was one question that came up from my first episode when I did the soups and the salads. And it was, what happens if your soup, if you put too much salt? So if you put too much salt in your soup, the easiest thing to do is to just dilute it with water. But cooking is all about flavor. So you can also add some acid, either some vinegar or lemon juice to kind of counteract the saltiness, or add some sweetness. So, you know, the sweet, the salty, the bitter, the 5 different culinary flavors. You want to make sure that they're balanced. But the easiest way is just to add water. That's the way. Some people say you can add a potato to it, which I think the potato does draw out some of the salt, but it also draws out some of the water. So just the easiest way is to just add a potato. So just for the outline for today, since it's going to be a little bit different, we're going to do a recipe demo. I've never tried it. I saw it and I wanted to try it. So we'll see. It's supposed to be a hack and we'll see if it works. If it fails, we'll just try it and see. And then we're just going to walk through each of the recipe things. So I'm getting a low connection thing here. Can you guys still see me? I'm getting a message that I have a low connection. Am I good? Let me know if I'm good. Because it's saying I have a low connection. Are you guys okay? He said you can't see me. The broadcast is paused. Okay. Can you guys, are we back up now? I see the live in the corner. Okay, I'm back up now. Thanks, T. Okay, and then we're going to walk through some of the pantry staples: flour, eggs, milk, and butter, and just some substitutions that you can do for them. So we'll go ahead and get started with our recipe. Let me put on my apron. I'm not going to put my black one on today because we have flour, and flour on black, it's not the business. So I'm going to put on my Cooking Club of America one today. Yes, I'm in the Cooking Club of America. I'm a lifetime member. Yes. Yes, I am. With my name on it. Are you surprised though? Not really, right? Okay. Let's come into the kitchen. We leave everything behind. We take a deep breath in, out. Now let's wing it. The water for today is blackberry orange. So I hope you have your waters. And the water for today is blackberry orange. I actually like this one. This is my first time trying it today, and I never really heard of this combination before I started doing research for the show. But I like this because you remember on Thursday we talked about those dark berries that have, hey Rod, hey Cece in Virginia. We talked about those berries that have those dark, there's my oven. I preheated it for this bread. Those polyphenols and the flavonoids, these are great. They're antioxidants and high in vitamin C. And we know oranges, of course, are high in vitamin C. With everything we have going on right now, our body is stressed. It's just a war, right? We're fighting this thing physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So this one is actually one of my favorites so far. I had a friend message me. She said she tried the water. Hey Karen, if you're watching, but she said I pretty much did a fruit salad. She had pineapples and strawberries and everything in there. She said it was really, really good. So I'm glad that I can encourage you to try different waters and continue to stay hydrated. This is our water for today, and we'll go ahead and get into the recipe. So let me get my sip. Yeah, this is a good one. All right, so the bread we're gonna make today is a no yeast bread. I think that's what kind of stops people from making bread, because it could be daunting when you think about you have to use yeast. It has to be within a specific temperature or else the yeast dies. And it's 2 proofs. One is an hour, one is 45 minutes. It takes so long just to get some bread. And some people are like, I just want some bread. So I found this recipe and I'm going to show it to you. This is what we're going to do today. I've never tried it, so it'll be an experiment for all of us. So this is it. I'm going to put it in the comments, guys, so no worries. It's Mama's Easy bread. It's only 5 ingredients, sorry. So, and it's all stuff that we have: flour, baking powder, salt, milk, and mayo. So let's go ahead and try it. And it's literally easy. You just combine everything in a bowl and scoop it in a muffin mix. I have my muffin tin here already buttered. So we're going to try it. Of course, I have to try a cupcake thing, because who wants to clean? Look at this. I have to clean this out afterwards. So if it works in here, we can do that going forward. So we'll test one with that. And we'll pop it in the oven, and I'm gonna set a timer, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna tilt my bowl here so you can see. Tilt this down. All right, here's the bowl. Can you guys? Yep, there we go. This thing is okay. Let's not make that fall over. All right, pull this back. Yeah, okay, here we go. So the recipe is 1 cup flour, and then it's 1 teaspoon each of baking powder and salt. And then it is a 1/2 cup milk and 2 tablespoons mayo. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but those packets that you get from like Chick-fil-A and those places with mayo, that's about 1 tablespoon. So if you're out of mayo and you have those packets, that's about a tablespoon. So I combine my wet ingredients into the same bowl. So the mayo is in here, mayo and the milk. Let's just make this up. Now, I've never made this. The bread that I've made in culinary school is usually very doughy. So we'll see what happens with this. Okay. All right. So this says it makes 5. Let me show y'all what it looks like. It says it makes 5 buns, I guess they're called. Little things here, but yes, maybe a spatula would have been better for this. But it's okay. We're live. We're gonna have fun with it. All right. We'll go ahead and scoop this in here. You want to keep, anytime you're measuring anything that's the same, along with cutting ingredients, you want to make them the same size so they can all cook at approximately the same time. See, look, this is what we're dealing with right here. So it's a very sticky dough. And I'm just going to leave whatever is in here. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep this moving. So to keep it, I'm just going to use this as a scoop in each and every one of them to keep it even. And I'll show you this when I'm done. Yo, my fingers are going to look like hot. It doesn't say how much to put into it, so I'm just using the smallest scoop that I have. This is 1/4 of a cup each. I'm gonna wish you had a way to taste it. I know, right? I'll let you know how it tastes. I'll do a taste test after this. This is very messy, but it's fun. I'm sure kids would have fun with this. If you have some kiddos. All right, so I got about 4, but maybe because I'm doing these Mandingo massive, huge scoops. But while I'm scooping this, what is some of your favorite bread? I personally, I don't really like rye, but what are some of your favorite breads that you guys have tried? A friend of mine in Florida, she makes a Hawaiian bread, and there's coconut and raisins and all kind of stuff in it, and it's really, really, really good. But what are some of your favorite breads while I do this here, while we do this recipe demo? You mean eyeballing? Yes, Tanya, I'm eyeballing it. Okay. Let's move this to the side. There's still dough left in here, but for the purpose of this recipe, it's supposed to be 15 minutes. Let's see if it works. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. This is not... Okay, look. This is what we have. Don't mind this one, that's the leftover. That one is going to cook the fastest, but this is what we have. It's a very sticky dough. It reminds me, I really want to just knead this, but it's not a knead dough. So let's see if we can have bread in 15 minutes. I'm going to pop this in the oven. Anytime you get stuff, wash your hands, guys. No cross-contamination. We don't want any of that. Let me see some bread. She says she loves the brown bread from the Cheesecake Factory. I agree. That is the best bread. The temperature is, it says 180 Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, that's 356. Yeah, so I put it at 355 for 15 minutes. Yes, I agree. That brown bread, and then, oh, pumpernickel. I've never really tried pumpernickel. The Chicago Italian bread at Publix. Ooh, you know what bread I like? The Italian herbs and cheese at Subway. Ooh, that on a steak and cheese, delicious. Okay, hands good to go. Set my timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, your timer is set for 15 minutes.
Well, thank you, Siri. You're so nice. Okay, let's get into flours. So there are tons of different flours, right? In the bakery, we generally have 4, and everybody has the middle flour, right? So the flours are graded by the level of protein. The one that has the lowest amount of protein, does anybody know what it is? Which flour has the lowest and which flour has the highest amount of protein? I'm going to let you guys see how much my people know in terms of flour. We're going to talk about 4 today. Which one has the lowest, just in general, of all the flours? Not like almond flour or potato flour or even rye. Not those. Just of the general wheat flours. Which one do you think has the lowest? Yes, the King's Hawaiian, Tanya. Yes. Which one you think has the lowest protein and which one has the highest? All-purpose, you think has the lowest? Okay. Oh, okay. So T and Keisha says all-purpose has the lowest. All-purpose is in the middle. That's why it's sent all-purpose, right? Because you can use it for pretty much anything. She said almond has the most protein. Rod? Okay. The lowest flour with the lowest protein is cake flour. It's very, very light. It has about 8% protein in it, and it produces a very, very tender crumb. It's used mostly in cakes. That's why it's called cake flour, but it's very, 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 very light. The next level up is pastry flour. So cake is 8, pastry is next. The only difference is the amount of protein. Pastry has about 9%. Then above that is all-purpose. So all-purpose is above cake and above pastry. Yeah, Rod, you got it. Cake flour. Yes, cake, pastry, and then all-purpose. All-purpose is great for anything, right? So pastry, you can bring in cookies and scones. You can still use cake for it. But then all-purpose, it's at about 10 to 11% protein, which it's versatile. You can pretty much use it for everything. You can't really go wrong. And then what's the highest? What's the one that is like up there? Which one has the highest protein? Not almond, Rod. No, not almond. I'm gonna let you guys guess while I take a sip of my waters. Tiny cell self-rising is the highest. Actually, self-rising we're going to talk about in a minute, but the highest is bread. Bread flour has up to 13% protein. So, and that's because those gluten strands have to develop, and there's actually one flour above that. It's a high protein flour. It has like 14%, but they use that in like the big industrial type bakeries where the bread can take the beating of those blades. But you know, that bread has a lot of gluten. It's dense and very, very chewy. So cake, pastry, all-purpose bread. Now, if you have a recipe that calls for cake flour and you don't have cake flour, it's a trick question. And you don't have cake flour, you can definitely make your own. People generally don't use it, but if you have to, you can. And to make cake flour, and I'm going to put all of this, so today is going to be a little more technical. Chef Toya is teaching today. Cake flour is all-purpose flour. So we're going to do it in 1 cup because that's the easiest way to remember. So you take 1 cup of all-purpose flour and you remove 2 tablespoons. So you take out 2 tablespoons out of the cup. The cup is 8 ounces. So now you have 6 ounces of flour because you took out 2 tablespoons. Then you replace those 2 tablespoons that you took out of flour with cornstarch. So at the end, you should have 6 ounces flour, 2 ounces cornstarch, 8 ounces is 1 cup. You sift it together, and that is a substitute for cake flour. If you have a recipe, speaking of self-rising flour you can make this at home too. So don't even buy self-rising, you can make it at home. So self-rising flour is just flour with a leavening agent. So if you need to make self-rising flour at home, just get some all-purpose flour and some baking powder and put them together. Some people put a little salt, and I'll put those measurements down below. So if you need cake flour in a pinch, if you need self-rising flour, you can make it at home. Now, does anybody know the difference between baking soda and baking powder? They are similar, but they are definitely not the same. Does anybody know the difference? Of course I'm going to tell you, but I just want to see. And no Googling. We're in class. You can't Google in class. What's the difference between baking soda and baking powder besides the fact that they say this can pretty much clean anything? What's the difference? I'll give you a second while I take a sip of my water. Stay hydrated, guys. Get your water. You use baking soda with acid. Yes, that is true. That is true, Tanya, yes. Any other guesses? Okay. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, right? And whenever you use this in a recipe, you need both an acid and a liquid for it to work. So you need both. This baking powder is baking soda, but the acid is already in it. So this is sodium bicarbonate with an acid, and all this needs is a liquid to rise. So baking soda needs an acid and a liquid to rise. Baking powder already has the baking soda and an acid, so all it needs is liquid. So there you go. Most of the times when you see a recipe and it's called for this, you put in buttermilk because it has the acid and the liquid in one. So this needs both, this needs one. Baking powder has baking soda in it. And that's going to be the first question on your quiz. Okay. If you need to make pancake mix, you can. I made a pancake mix, guys. Look at the pancakes I made with my homemade pancake mix. No need to get the one with the lady with the hair tie. You can make it at home. Put it in an airtight container and store it up, and you will always have pancake mix. I'm going to put the ingredients below, but this out of 1 cup, I already ate one, so yeah. You could get about 12 average size pancakes. I put banana in mine, so of course, you could put blueberries, you could put whatever into it, but have some homemade pancake mix and put it in your cupboard, and you can always have pancakes at any time. Pancake mix is just flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and sugar. That is it. That is the mix. And I'm going to put the recipe below. Now, when you need to make the batter for this, when you're ready to make the pancakes, it's just think one egg, 1 cup of milk, 1 melted tablespoon butter. That's it. And 1 cup of mix. One's all the way down. 1 cup of mix, 1 egg, 1 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon melted butter. You have your batter for your pancakes. So no need to buy it in the store. If you run out and your kids are yelling they want pancakes, you can make your own. I'm gonna put the recipe down below. And 1 cup will make this many pancakes, -1 because I ate 1. So now you guys know how to make your own cake flour, self-rising flour, and pancake mix. In terms of Sen-U-2, okay, yes, and these freeze very well. So I'm actually gonna freeze these so I can have breakfast later with my egg cups. You remember my egg cups I made? I still have like 2 left. Breakfast made easy. Pop this in the freezer whenever you're ready. Take 2 out, put it in the microwave. Breakfast done. Yes. So cake flour, self-rising flour, pancake mix, DIYs. Any questions on that before we go into butter? We have 5 minutes left. Let me take a look at them. It don't look like the picture, but that's okay. We're going to try it and see. Any questions on the pancakes or flour or anything before we go into butter? Okay. All right. Butter. Butter is, you can definitely make your own butter at home. You don't need to buy it. Butter is expensive now. You can make your own butter. Butter is 80% fat, 16% water, and about 4% milk solids. Now, the thing about butter is, y'all, if you're buying butter and it has more than 3 ingredients, unless it's a flavored butter, it doesn't need to have that many ingredients in it. Butter is pure fat, pretty much. So this is Land O'Lakes, and I love them because they have 2 ingredients, sweet cream and salt. That's it. That's pretty much all you need. Now, to make your own butter at home, which I love, because you could put cinnamon in it and make cinnamon butter. You could put honey, make honey butter. You can put garlic and make garlic butter for some steaks. Put some fresh herbs in there. You have herb butter, and it's way, way cheaper. You can make how many you need. So we're going to talk about making butter at home. Now, this is also something fun for the kids. My nieces in Florida, hey guys, hey, Reese's Pieces and Nana. We try to FaceTime so that we can do like little science projects and stuff over FaceTime. And one of the projects we did was we made our own butter. And it's not as hard as you think. You literally just need 1 ingredient. And we made butter. So what you need for butter is just cream. This is all you need, guys. Don't use milk because it has to have a high fat content. So regular cream has about 30% fat. Heavy cream has about 36% fat. So that's even better. So this is heavy cream. You leave it out on your counter for 8 hours. It has to be room temperature because if you start shaking this, you're just going to make whipped cream. And literally, you just shake for about 3 minutes. Now, when I did this with my nieces, we had a contest. We had a race, right? To see who could make butter first because that's just how we do. And my nieces spanked me, y'all. They beat me. Not by much, but they made their butter first. But I just attribute because, you know, that they're younger and they have more energy than their Auntie Toya. But they beat me in making butter, which goes to tell you that your kids can make it, you can make it. But you literally get the cream and you shake it like a Polaroid picture. You just shake that puppy and you keep going. Just put on some music and you can Harlem shake to it. I'm not going to be shaking this for 3 minutes because this right here, that's not a good video. 3 minutes of me doing this. No. But I'm not gonna shake this because I wanna save this to make some whipped cream later for some cupcakes that I'm making. But yes, cream, room temperature. If you wanna put some honey, I put some honey in mine. I'm gonna show you the one I made earlier. If you wanna put garlic, herbs, and then just go to town. Walk around the house. Use this to get your exercise in for the day. Just shake it. And what did I say? What did I say? You don't want to see me think this? Right. So shake it for 3 minutes, and then what happens is the fat is going to start to disappear. So this is what it's going to look like. The liquid on the bottom is the buttermilk, is what they call it. And then, I don't know if you can see the butter in it, but I'm gonna pour it out so you can see. So this is the buttermilk. This is that water that we say that butter is made out of. Coming out. And then here is the butter. I'm going to use my hands. My hands are clean. My hands are clean, y'all. Here is the butter. It's soft. It's delicious. It's spreadable. You put this in the fridge. And it doesn't have any preservatives, so if you're not going to use a lot of it, don't make a lot of it. So this is a piece of that butter I made earlier today. We're going to put this on the bread when it comes out of the oven. So get your cream, shake it up 3 minutes, and what you're doing is you're separating the fat from the milk solids. And after 3 minutes, you get butter. Rinse this with cold water, put it in an airtight container, put it in the fridge. Butter, homemade, done. And homemade butter, to me, tastes better than store-bought butter. That's just my opinion. My sister who made it with me is watching. I don't know if she can confirm if she liked it better, but I personally liked it better. And this butter has honey in it, so I put some honey in this butter. So butter at home, make sure you use cream, don't use milk because you'll be shaking there all day. It has to be high fat. Shake this puppy up. So you see it already started to and this was the one that I was shaking already. It's already starting to like separate. So that's what happens. And you just do it for 3 minutes, 2 minutes. If you're really, really strong, you'll have homemade butter in no time. Okay. But y'all, side note, look at this pepper. Have y'all ever seen a pepper like this? This is the most beautiful pepper I have ever seen. Oh, timer's done. Hold on. Let's check it. Yeah, so it's not 15 minutes because they're not done yet. I'm going to take it out so you can see. Let me show you what it looks like. So they're looking like rolls. They're looking okay. But just from my knowledge of touching it, it could use probably about 2 more minutes. Yeah, about 2 more minutes. So set my timer for 2 minutes, please.
Okay, your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Siri, you just on the ball today. So we'll let that go for 2 more minutes. And then, so we talked about flour, butter. Let's talk eggs. There's really not much with eggs. But let's talk about how you can tell if an egg is good or bad. Now, just to point out, guys, there's no nutritional difference between a brown egg and a white egg. They're exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the hen it came from. People tend to think that the brown one is healthier, like brown sugar and white sugar. Brown sugar is white sugar with molasses in it, so it actually has more sugar. And a brown egg and a white egg, same nutritional value. There's no nutritional difference in it. So let's talk about how you can tell if an egg is good or bad. What's your brand preference for heavy cream? Whichever one is on sale. No, I'm just kidding. I like TG Lee Dairies, but Kroger, they have their own brand. I like their brand too. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one that I use, Rod, but it's Kroger's brand. I like their brand. It's really, really, really good. Charles has a question. Let's see. What was the question? Oh, is that your... Okay. Oh, geez. Yes. So here we have some eggs, right? If you just look at eggs, you can't really tell if they're good or if they're bad or if they're fresh or stale or anything. So the way you can tell is, tell them hi. So an eggshell is porous, right? That means air is getting in. So the longer an egg sits, that means more and more air is getting in there. So the way you can tell if an egg is fresh, okay, 2 minutes, hold on. All right, we'll go ahead and take it out. I'm gonna come back to the eggs in just a few minutes. Now let's see what this looks like, guys. Here's the bottom, looking nice and brown. In the bakery, when we're baking bread, if you thump the bottom and it sounds hollow, that means the bread is done. So, smells good. We're gonna put it to the side, let it cool off, and then we're gonna try some of our honey butter that we made earlier today with our bread. So we'll just put this to the side for now, and then I'm gonna taste it, and we're gonna walk through. I'm gonna walk through the flavor profile and everything with you. So 17-minute bread. We'll see what happens. Okay, so eggs. If you just have, do you have to refrigerate eggs? I like to, if the eggs have been pasteurized, then people say you don't, because if you're on the farm, when the chickens lay the eggs, they leave them out. Pasteurized just means that it was held at 161 degrees, and it kills off all pathogens and bacteria. So if your eggs are pasteurized, technically you don't. I just like to refrigerate them just to be safe. That's just, when I was growing up, it was in the fridge, so I put mine in the fridge. Okay, testing eggs. So we have some eggs here. The way you test eggs to see if they're fresh is you submerge them in water. Now, remember we said air gets in there. So if an egg is stale, it's gonna float. If it's fresh, it's gonna stay at the bottom because it doesn't have that much air in there. So let's see what type of eggs we have in here. Oh, okay. All right. Let's talk about this. Okay, so obviously this one at the bottom is a fresh egg because there's less air in there. This one, the white one that's kind of just below the surface, it's not a fresh egg because it has air in it. It's probably not as fresh as this, but this brown egg right here, we're not even finna eat that because that thing is floating above the water. So if you have eggs at home and you probably popped them in the fridge and didn't realize when you buy them, here's a way to test it. Fresh eggs will sink, stale eggs will float. These have way more air in it than this one, so you would want to toss these and keep these. That's how you can tell if your eggs are fresh or not. Now, how can you tell if your eggs is hard-boiled or raw? I'm gonna turn off my oven while you guys do that. How can you tell if your eggs are hard-boiled or raw? How can you tell? No? Nobody knows? Yes, Rochelle, you spin it. So this has happened before where I was making egg salad and I just had a bunch of eggs out. So a hard-boiled egg, and I'm gonna do this up here, y'all. If I drop this egg, it's all good. We live, we winging it. A hard-boiled egg will spin, and a soft raw egg won't. So if you you cook them. You know what? If you have an egg and you want to know if it's cooked, you spin it. So if it spins like a top, it's a cooked egg. Right? So this one is cooked. And if you spin it and it's just like slow rolling, like a video vixen in the 1990s Puff Daddy video, if your egg doing this, it's not hard boiled. Look. That versus this. So cooked eggs spin, raw eggs jiggle. Raw eggs wiggle. They wiggle with it. Hey. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. So that's how you can tell. With eggs. Any question on eggs? No, ma'am? Was that no, ma'am, to me dancing or to the questions on the eggs? Okay. No? All right, cool. All right, the next one is milk. Really, milk. The one milk you can make at home, unless you have a cow in the back, is there are some recipes that call for buttermilk, and typically people don't keep buttermilk in their house, right? And if they do buy it, they only need like a tablespoon or like a half a cup or something, but you can make your own buttermilk at home. So buttermilk is just, it's 1-to-1 ratio. You take 1 cup of regular milk, whole milk, and you add 1 tablespoon acid. So you can either add lemon juice or vinegar, and you let that sit for about 15 minutes, and it's gonna start to, the acid is gonna start to do its thing, and that will be a great substitute for buttermilk. I have not bought buttermilk in years. Every time I make my banana bread recipe or anything, I always make my own buttermilk, and buttermilk is way more expensive. So if you have milk and you have vinegar, which most people do in their house, or a lemon, you can make your own buttermilk. 1-to-1 ratio, guys. 1 cup milk, 1 tablespoon acid, stir it up, let it sit for 15 minutes. If you don't have milk, well, an acid, you can also make buttermilk by diluting milk in yogurt. And that will make a buttermilk substitute as well. Now, condensed milk, here's a hack for condensed milk. Condensed milk is evaporated milk with sugar. Evaporated milk is just milk that would had 60% of the water removed, and then condensed milk is evaporated milk with 40% sugar. So if you need to make caramel, in a hack, if you need to make caramel, you can just boil one of these and the sugars will caramelize, and it will make a great caramel substitute. So if you have condensed milk, because it's not going to be exactly the same, but it tastes pretty similar, because all caramel is milk, butter, and cream, and sugar, sorry. And that's pretty much all that's in here. It's the same thing. So in a pinch, if you need to make caramel, boil one of these for about 4 hours. I know some people empty it out and then put it in the oven. You can make caramel that way either. So in a pinch, condensed milk, you can make your own caramel. So we made butter, we made our own pancake mix. You guys have any questions before we taste our bread? Any questions? You staying hydrated? Do you have your waters? I like this one because the taste of the orange is very, very light. Thanks, Rod. Glad you like it. Good info. Just in case, if you ever run out of anything, just know that you can do it at home, especially the butter. I highly recommend you guys try to make your own butter at home. It tastes completely, it tastes better than store-bought butter to me, honestly. Oh, here's another baking hack. If you're making something with butter and they say to cut it up into small pieces, stick this in the freezer and then grate it into the dough, and it's already cut up. It's uniform pieces, and it's just delicious. Just freeze it, grate it, no need to get your hands dirty. Boom, done, good. All right, let me see. Any questions? And then we're gonna taste this bread. Yay, good. I'm glad you learned a lot today. I'm definitely gonna, yes, Rod, make your own butter, and then let me know if you like try a flavor or something, like if you put some cinnamon or some honey or something like that in it. Let me know, because if my nieces could spank me and do, I might as well turn this into butter, y'all. It's already turning into like slight whipped cream. Yeah, I can't make whipped cream with this. I'm gonna have to make some more butter with this. So yeah, just shake it like a Polaroid picture. It's gonna separate. All right, okay. Let's taste this bread. In my hands. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see how this is going. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit so you can see it. Please don't tip over, cause all right, here we go. I'm gonna use my hands. My hands are clean. It's okay. Let's go with this one here. And let's get my knife. All right, let's just go down the side here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it did. All right, wow. Okay, it smells really good. And I don't know if you probably can't see the texture. Oh man, this light is really kind of crazy. But it smells like bread, but it's more like it's not like a doughy bread. It's more like a muffin actually. But let's put some butter on there. Look at the spreadability. Look at the spreadability of that butter, y'all. Man, and the bread is still warm too, and this butter has honey in it. So yeah. Personally, yeah, I mean it's cooked, but if you put it in for another minute or so, it'd be done. So let's try this one. See, it's perfectly fine without any cleanup. So if you want to try it with the muffins, try it with the muffin things. I'm gonna eat these later tonight with some chicken. But let's put this to the side and let's taste it. Let's see what we have. Yeah, it does look like very biscuit. It's very biscuit-esque. It does have biscuit properties, tendencies. So let's see. Let's try it, guys. Okay. All right, here's my honest chef opinion. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. I would cut back to a half. You can really taste the salt in this, but that's the only drawback. I like that the texture. It is more of a biscuit than a bread. But in a pinch, if you needed to put some rolls on the side of your dinner table, I would definitely try it. I would recommend using the muffin tin so you don't have to worry about cleanup. But if the texture is like a biscuit, I would cut back on the salt for sure. But some honey butter, or if you have some jelly would be good on it too. But yeah, definitely try it. It does not look like how this. Doesn't look like that. Like it doesn't rise like that. And what's funny is I saw another recipe like this with this same picture, but the measurements were a little bit different. So I don't know which one is like more accurate than the other, and the temperature was higher too. So if you need to make rolls in a pinch, I say you can. They're, perfectly golden brown. There's the butter on it. It's good. Just cut back on the salt. It's really salty. So, but that's the recipe hacks. I mean, that's the recipe demo, right? So we were going to do it live and see what happens. So we talked about eggs. If you do make it pancakes, just freeze them. You have breakfast. And that is it. Thursday's show, we're going to talk about manipulating ingredients. We're going to make some things taste completely different. And one of the things, we're going to do 3 different things. And I'm going to show you how to make chickpeas taste like tuna fish. We're going to make coconut taste like bacon. And the last one I'm going to leave as a surprise. But yes, so it's all about changing the flavor profiles of ingredients. I learned most of this when I went vegan for 90 days. But yeah, it tastes like completely different. So that's Thursday's show. Any questions before we share resources? So you got dough salt licks? Yes, Franklin, that's pretty much what I have. Yeah, I would cut back on the salt. Can you make vodka? Yes, you can make water taste like vodka by pouring vodka in it. But Thursday's show is going to be fun. Guys, join me to see how we can do that. Any questions before we share information? I said bacon. See, that's my nieces, man. They know bacon. They like their auntie. Bacon all day. Okay, let's share some information. Everybody is right now is a tough time for everybody. So let's talk about jobs. There's a lot of companies that are hiring, and you probably know most of them, right? Amazon, Walmart. But there's about 700 job openings that are out there. And I'm gonna put the link to the website in the chat when we're finished. But it goes through the list of the companies that are hiring. And okay, if I say coronavirus one more time. And it goes down by each. So it says like Instacart is hiring 300,000 people, Walmart 150,000, Amazon, CVS is hiring. I know Dollar General is hiring 50,000, Papa John's, 7-Eleven, Kroger, Pepsi. So I'm going to put this link in the description. I know Amazon also has some virtual things where you can work from home and work in a call center or do like the customer service chats. And you can do that at home. You don't have to go to their facilities or anything like that. So if you know someone who is looking for a job or needs some part-time income, make sure you share this link with them. Shout out to Caria who shared this and do that. So we'll put that out there so you guys can get that information and share with anybody who just needs to. Unemployment is what, 6 million just last week alone? It's crazy. So I know we're all impacted by this in some way, shape, or form. Either hours were cut or jobs were gone completely. Events just completely got canceled. So if you need to make some extra income, I'm going to share that in there. So that's our information sharing for today. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you for watching me make my salt biscuits. I mean, and when I was doing, I was like, that seems like a lot of salt. But I wanted to try it live so that you guys can see. Yes, CC, yes. I want you guys to try it and see, live with me. So just cut way back on the salt. And I would put sugar in there actually because there's no sugar in there. But that's just me. You're welcome. Any questions, guys, before we go? Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget Thursday is going to be manipulating ingredients. And then next week we have a show that's all about meat. So that should be good for the guys. And then the kiddos are next week as well. Sharkies! Any questions before we go? I finished my water. Whoop, whoop. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. I will see you on Thursday. And have a great, great, great rest of your day. Bye, guys. Thanks, sissies. See you weekend.